I really don't know, guys. I think it's so clear Jedi Robinson, and then it's just 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are 4 names, and whoever's being the sharpest in a year is going to make the team. We're going to get right into the depth chart, our top 5 for the left back. I actually took this one on, and I do think there are a few prefaces that need to be mentioned. One is we're leaving predominantly right-sided players off of this list. Okay, so we're looking at the lefties and players that play on the left side a lot more than they do on the right side, which means the Serginho Dests of the world, Joe Scally will show up there from time to time. We're leaving them off of this list. So I wanted to make sure that very, very clear. Also, what I think is interesting about this position is that this is probably the spot where it's the most clear number 1 spot of the national team. Jedi Robinson's the guy at number 1. There's not even any question who is the guy. But then the drop off from 1 to whoever else is on the list is probably the biggest of our group as well. So there's a really long way of me saying that Jedi Robinson, please don't be hurt, because we're just not as strong when you're not on the field, and all that leadership stuff that I value highly as well. Okay, so the rest of my list, I got Tolkien at 2. I'm kind of like shrugging my shoulders with with who's after Jedi Robinson. We got Tolkien. I think Max Arfston needs to be in the list. Kevin Paredes, I'm happy he's back. I think he provides a different dynamic. I mentioned before, Ralph Husenhuddle, his coach, mentioned had high praise. Part of it was the kid made some great tackles, and I love that he's putting that I'm paraphrasing, but putting that type of shift in on that side of the ball. So that's good, because if he really wants to be considered, he's going to have to be able to do it on both sides of the ball. Caleb Wiley, I think, is in the mix as well. I don't really see him being a legitimate option for 26. So hopefully that'll change the conversation for 2030. But a year out, I don't see Caleb Wiley breaking into the team. But I'm putting him on the list because I think that he's one for the future. Kevin Paredes might be in that conversation as well. I really don't know, guys. I think it's so clear Jedi Robinson, and then it's just 2, 3, 4, 5. Here are 4 names, and whoever's being the sharpest in a year is going to make the team. Big Tones, I'm coming to you. Where are you on?
Why are you coming
list?
to me first?
Because I know you love lists, and I know you love ratings and grades.
Yeah,
so I wanted to throw you on.
It sounded like this.
Yeah, I suppose if you're not going to count Dest and Scally, yeah, I guess that's there. Who else were options in that position? I don't know. Were you struggling over anybody?
Loons and
yeah, Loons. I mean, I left him out because it just doesn't seem like he's part of
it doesn't seem
Pochettino's plans. So that impacted. You got DeJuan Jones, but I think he's more right-sided than
you got. I think.
I mean, if Wesley McKinney there. I think he put Wesley McKinney there before other people.
Bruce Arena just traded for DeJuan Jones to go to San Jose. So
that's to be the that would be the one. DeJuan, if he comes good over the next couple months, he could probably move into that list. But I know what your assignment was, and it wasn't easy. But there's a lot of guys in front of some of those outside of Antonee Robinson. Of course, we all know that, right? I don't think anyone argues that. Yeah. There's a lot of guys ahead of some of those guys.
Would you play Austin Trusty there? Over some of those guys, like would you put Austin Trusty because he's left-footed?
Would he consider Tim Ream there? I don't know.
Well, he's been playing there quite a bit for Charlotte, right?
I know
he left-sided guy.
But
I don't know that I would
that's
consider
MLS.
him there. Yeah, I don't know that I would consider him there.
If everyone was healthy, it'd be Jedi for sure. Probably Dest second. Maybe McKinney third. I feel like we wouldn't even get into the
remember
Tolkiens of the world.
Timothy Weah played a whole season at left back at Lille. So
yeah, it's another one. You could have Scally could play on that side. It's just I don't even know if we get into number 2, 3, and 4.
Don't ever mention Scally on the left side again, please.
Okay,
you've seen enough, Chuck.
Yeah, I've seen enough.
From field level, you were down to field level.
From field level, I've seen enough.
Correspondent. But what were you, the correspondent? What was your title?
Contributing analyst.
That's right, contributing analyst. That's your best role for me, Chuck. Just throwing it out there.
I honestly couldn't agree more with you, Jimmy. But what I will say is there's a massive drop off after Antonee Robinson. So, unfortunately, the team's dynamic completely changes when you're missing such an influential player in the team as your left back, who gets up and down. We talk about Brandon Aronson being consistent, someone you can count on in the championship for a team like Leeds, who's scoring at an alarming rate, yet your number 10 has only scored 2 goals and gives you 0 assists in all of 2025 so far. Yet Antonee Robinson, here he is, being as consistent as ever for both Fulham and for our country in the national team. Just, you know exactly where you're going to get from him every single time. Even if a cross is a ray or a ball, you just know he's going to be consistent. And his baseline, his foundation is extremely high. So unfortunately, it's almost we are a different team without him. Unfortunately, there's no like for like. There's no one even close.
Is he our most valuable player? Like, is the drop off when Jedi's not on the field? Is that the most significant loss we can suffer? Because let's say Christian's not available, we could come up with a couple other guys that could be, or solutions, right, to the starting 11 or whatever. Jedi's not on the field, and it feels like we're moving heaven and earth to try to figure out how we're going to solve the lack of presence from him. Tones?
Yeah, I would think he is. We could make up in the attacking part of field side, just doing something different. We have more players in that line of 3 if it's a 4-2-3-1, or in that underneath the forward position. Yeah, I would say so. He just coming. I'm trying to think if I'm missing anybody. Tyler Adams would be the other guy that I don't want to miss in the middle of the field. I don't think I'm missing anybody that influential on the field. So it would be the 3 would be Antonee Robinson, Tyler Adams, Christian Pulisic for me. If you're asking me, I know you love lists and ratings, Jimmy.
Yeah, but I think we're also forgetting Serginho Dest because he's been out for so long.
Yeah, you're probably right.
But what a miss that has been on the opposite side. So we're talking about left back and right back being so influential because one, Antonee Robinson just getting up and down with his pace and strength and timing and delivery. He's just as good as a defensive left back as he is going forward. That's rare. He's among the top left backs in the world. Now, Serginho Dest on the other side, it's rare for a right back to be such a good dribbler. Now, he's much more advanced as an attacking right back than he is defensively. But I think in the last World Cup, all the questions we had about Serginho Dest as a defensive right back, he answered them. He showed up defensively. So I know we always focus on what he can do offensively. We say, he lacks defensively, but he can do what you need a right back to do defensively. Yeah. Not anything superb or above average, but good enough. But what he gives you in the attacking phase of play is dynamic and dangerous, and it changes the game for us as well.
I think what Antonee's evolved into is that we all know, and I think Fulham fans can say the same, that you're going to get a 7 or 8 out of 10 from him every single game, which really speaks to his evolution as a player, his consistency as a player. And the other, Tyler Adams, we feel the same way, Tones. So that's why I think he's on your top 3 there. Christian Pulisic would be the other one, where you know you're going to get 7 or 8 out of them every. Okay, there are going to be blips where maybe you don't get as much, but ultimately that's why they feel irreplaceable. What's interesting about Tyler, though, is I think you can have a big conversation about the emergence of Johnny Cardoso and Tanner Tessman, that we could have other options now. It's not so bleak if Tyler isn't around. And to be honest, he gets hurt a lot, and we've had to survive without him in some ways. I do think he'd be a big miss for a lot of reasons, but yeah, I think we could. There's something about Jedi and not having him available that I think makes it or him the most valuable player.
I think he's him and Dest. I put them in the same bracket. You're right, Charlie. We probably forget about Dest a little bit, right, because of the injury, and hopefully he comes back. One thing they both have had always in them is they put the opponent under pressure from the wide areas all the time because they're always looking to get forward. And now that Antonee Robinson is cleaned up the crossing a heck of a lot, over the years, he becomes even more dangerous. And if Pochettino is going to use him in the way, what was it, Jamaica leg 2, right, where he used them in that hybrid role, then he becomes even more effective. He's not going to be able to do that against everybody, but those two guys are so influential. I do want to mention, though, at the right back position, as much as Serginho Dest gives us in the attacking side, it's been in reverse for Joe Scally because he's not the attacker, but Joe Scally has not been bad defensively for us. He's been pretty solid defensively for us. We just don't get nearly as much as what we've been used to over the years from Sergiño Dest, because he's not that style of player. Nor do I think that you would even ask him to be that style of player, because it's not necessarily his profile. But I just wanted to mention, like, I don't think he's been bad defensively for us. We just have to play differently.
Oh, look at you. You got to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it. So if you want more average to good content, then you know where to go find it. Go peruse our channel, then hit like, then hit subscribe, and of course, turn on your notifications so that you never miss a show. We'll see you next time.